Open, competitive, and joint favourites. Just can't split them. Rachel, what were you most looking forward to in this race?
Probably Ember's Glow, but I think it's close between Ember's Glow and Harry Callahan, which, as Pat Cooney said, was one of the horses that came in for some serious support early doors. And I should just mention that the other one that had come in for serious support early on already picked up his trophy and got his picture taken when Songkran won the third race. So there is that. And when I was looking earlier today, he opened at 7s, and when I looked, he was into 7-2. So obviously you expect a little bit of pushback when they get cut in. But I mean, Harry Callahan, last time out, ran a huge race to be second. That was with the first time visor, and that was the winner got first run, and he was turning in from a wide draw. He had to weave through horses, but he got up and he was well clear of the third. Again, not particularly gifted in the draw department, but 9 is better than 14. His last couple of draws have been 14, 14, 10, 12, so he's probably going to have no idea what's going on, and he's breaking more or less from the middle of the gate as opposed to in Trans-Siberia on the outside. Caleb Shepherd's already had a winner today, so he's going to be in fine form. It's just if the visors work again. You know, sometimes you see, they definitely help, but sometimes they don't help the second time.
Well, this is it, and plenty of support for Harry Callahan. I thought he was so much better last time out. I put him in my bet, but the other two that were in with him haven't done so well. But anyways,
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. George?
I'm going to go sort of outside the box here because I think it's a very open race. It's a very winnable race. I thought Mark Usher's Arlecchino's Arc ran a really, really likeable race last time, just getting nabbed late on by an improving horse of Seamus Durax. I know he's drawn 14, but there's pace in 13 and 12 in Affair and Banter Bay. And I just got a funny feeling if Liam Canary can overcome that draw and not use too much horse up to get in a position, I think Arlecchino's Arc will definitely be in a 3, and he's a decent price.
And God, you couldn't begrudge him of a win either. He's had so many placed efforts. He's still waiting to get the head in front, not from 15, but he's been bang there, hasn't he, knocking on the door.
Well, so I'll see you a Mark Usher horse and raise you a Mark Usher horse, because Bird for Life, we're going to, in about a half an hour time, be talking about the Queen of Kempton with Magic Mirror, but Bird for Life, she's a Kempton impresario herself. All of her wins and all but one of her placed efforts have been here at Kempton. She's a dual course and distance winner, and last time out they decided to check out if 2 miles was going to be in her wheelhouse. The answer was no, so we're dropping back down to 1.5 miles. She got beat by Blazon last time, the Kim Bailey horse, who's gone on to win since. She finished 6th in that race. Ilhabella Fact was 7th, so Ilhabella Fact just run absolutely lights out to be second 25 minutes ago, something like that. So Bird for Life, I think she's a 5-10 pounds better mare around the likes of Kempton than elsewhere, and she too is a biggish price. But I guess we should talk about the favourite. That might be a nice thing to start. So I'm Singing the Blues, a horse that I had in 5th myself. First time cheek pieces, Luke Morris, as John Hunt alluded to in the commentary last time. Luke Morris is basically on a 50-odd ride slide here at Kempton, which is just absolutely unbelievable when you think about it, as he's winning everything anywhere else. But Kempton's been Adam Kirby's domain, so Luke's got to pick up his ideas, and hopefully the first-time cheek pieces will work with Singing the Blues, as we're seeing him finish a nose behind Ember's Glow, who's reopposing today. This was over course and distance in a very similar handicap. Interesting for Singing the Blues that this was his first try over the 1.5 miles. He stepped up quite markedly in trip, and he absolutely saw it out, and with a little bit of more luck in the run, he might have been a little bit closer, although I actually think if we take stuff out of it, Ember's Glow did have to just wait and squeeze up a little bit. But then again, Ember's Glow tends to run into a little bit of problems in his runs, as he got pinchered, but he's a horse that doesn't really have a massive turn of foot, so if something's going to get the better of him, it might just do it again today.
Owen Walsh was quick to say when he got off that he didn't have a clear run on Ember's Glow last time out. Singing the Blues was handy.
I think with Singing the Blues, he's definitely of interest with the cheap piece on first time, because when you watch when you watch a replay, at the time when I watched the race live, I didn't really notice it, but watching it back and seeing it again there, he definitely looks like he's holding fire. So if the cheap piece have the desired effect to get him to run forward and just help him concentrate, that could be the difference between winning and losing a race like this, I think.
He can also be part of the pace scenario. One of the inside pace scenarios, as George has already alluded to, there is some pace in here, but a lot of it's more berthed in the outside stalls, and over 1.5 miles, you going into the turn with about 2 furlongs. So getting a good early position is the name of the game. And with 14 runners at this lower level, you'd like to think that it's not going to be an absolute slog as we saw in our 1.3 mile race earlier.
Lady of York represents Paul Howling, Joey Haynes on board, and lightly raced, 5-year-old actually, only 12 starts, 8 of them on the all-weather. She's managed to win 1, place twice, and 2 wins from 12. You know, you look at this level and you kind of think that maybe she could be good enough to maybe get back in here. The one thing about her, she's bled in the past, so whether she's just...
Do you know what I think is interesting about Lady of York? When I was looking through the race earlier on today, I thought it was interesting because I'm pretty sure that Joey Haynes would have had the choice between Singing the Blues and Lady of York. He's ridden them both a lot, and I would have said, looking at the form, that I'd have picked Singing the Blues, but it's interesting. Maybe he didn't have the choice. I haven't spoken to him about it, but I just thought it was interesting that he's gone with Lady of York.
Yep.
Whether that means anything, we'll see, but I just thought it was of interest that he probably could have ridden both horses. She's
been a hard horse to keep on the track. You know, you span through some of her form. April last year, she was a winner over 1.5 miles. Then she went to Chelmsford. She bled at Chelmsford in August. There's a huge, amount of time, loads of spaces between her runs.
I think she's got the talent to win this race, even off a £3 higher mark than she won off last year around here. But obviously, there's she needs everything to go right, and if you're riding a horse that bleeds, you just need things. You need to get into a good rhythm and things to fall in the right way. And I couldn't back with any confidence myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that I worry with her. She does tend to race quite keenly, and from what I've seen with horses that bleed, sometimes when they're keen, they're waiting for it to happen. They're waiting for something to go wrong. So they're running a bit scared, and if you can't keep your mind quite rightly. I mean, like if you're just walking along waiting to break an ankle, you're not exactly going to be paying attention to what's going on. But she's just one. I hope she runs well. But
yeah, no, I'd love her to see her run well. I know she from August to January, only a couple of weeks ago she was back. So it's good to see her actually in quick succession to come out, and maybe she can follow up. But obviously she comes with so many risks attached. Of the others, very quickly, as they're loading, you can see it's a chilly old night there at Kempton.
Yep, 16-1 Banta Bay, the 14 horse, stepped up in the last 3 starts to 1.5 miles, has brought about really good improvement, particularly in her last 2 starts when she's been third over course and distance and at Lingfield. And last time when she was third, the 4th Top Rock Tallulah, she's come out and won, and that form's already been franked. And she's been placed 4 times, and all of those place forms have been with Josephine Gordon. And Josephine Gordon obviously has nothing better to do at 7:45 on a Wednesday, so she's come in for this ride and might just be one from an outside gate that might pick up a few of the pieces later on.
So, last few going forwards, final words, George?
Well, I'm just thinking about it. Me and Rachel are going to have a match bet in this on the Mark Usher runners, and whoever wins doesn't have to make the tee in the next break.
Now, who will? Me?
No.
Well, you have to do replay in next break, so one of us will be making tea.
Okay. I made the last cup anyway.
You turned the kettle on. Do you want a medal?
We're making our viewers turn off in droves here with this tea chat. Singing the Blues at 11-4 from 7-2. So match bet for you two. Arlecchino's Arc for George and Bird for Life for Rach. Okay, game on. Bird for Life been backed 8-1 from 10-1. Arlecchino's Arc at 10s, 11-4, Singing the Blues. Embers Glow 3-1, and Harry Callan drifting out 4s out to 6-1, and then we're big odds everything else.
It's going to be interesting tactically how the race unfolds, as I was saying to Rachel earlier on. A lot of the pace out wide, and I think there's you have to be sort of on the ball in these sort of low grade handicaps around here, because you want to go and get a position if there's not going to be much pace and you don't want to be too far out your ground. And if it means you have to use a bit of horse from a wide draw to go and get a position, so be it. But it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds.
We'll be seeing it unfold in the next minute or so, with the last few going forward. Harry Callan will be one into stall 9, and we can get across on a very chilly, cold Kempton night. It's John Hunt.
Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, just the last stragglers to come in here. Bird for Life moving forward. 3 left now. Banter Bay has got to go into stall 12, the yellow and maroon jacket. Arlecchino's Arc, and also to come in is Sargento. Sargento was one of the first to go to post, one of the last ones in. A few of them just rocking around a little bit in the stalls. Getting hold of Sargento to come stall 3. He'll be next to Ember's Glow and Caracas. The other two are out wider. Arlecchino's Arc just takes a turn. Will come in widest of all to stall 14. Banter Bay, stall 12. So attention then falls on Sargento. Handicap debut here tonight. Very lightly raced 4-year-old. Just needing a little bit of persuasion forward. He's creeping in towards stall number 3. And meanwhile, the two out on the wide outside just wait their turn. Banter Bay now produced forward into stall 12. Banter Bay's gone in. Sargento not quite there yet. Arlecchino's Arc to the outside. This is the introducing Racing TV handicap over 1.5 miles. Handlers might just need to be a little bit more persuasive with Sargento, who has crept forward inch by inch, but still another push or two away. Liam Canary watches on Arlecchino's Arc. He's determined to be last one in. And those that were a little restive in the stalls, including Attractive Effort, have settled down now. Singing the Blues to come out of stall 7, Black and Red Silks, when they eventually get sent on their way. So Sargento's in. Arlecchino's Arc will complete this lineup. He's popped in, no problem at all. We're set to race. 1.5 miles the distance. They are off and racing. Tersal a little bit slowly away for this, the introducing Racing TV handicap. And away fluently on the far side, Lady of York has come through to lead, with to the outside of that one Singing the Blues away well too. Banter Bay's got a good sit early, 3rd place. Yellow and Maroon Silks almost joining in for the lead now. Gracie Stansfield and Attractive Effort are the next ones, and between the two of those is Caracas. Then another gap back to Affair and Harry Callahan, who race next to Ember's Glow to the inside running rail. Then Sargento, who's got 4 behind at this stage of the race. Sargento followed by Tersal, who's improved a couple. Arlecchino's Arc, trained by Mark Usher, and his other runner in the race, Bird for Life, is last as they now race on toward the far side of the track. So Lady of York took it up at an early stage, 1 length clear of, in 2nd place, Singing the Blues. Banter Bay is now forward up on the outside, and they're followed through by the blue and pink colours belonging to Attractive Effort. It looks as though he's got difficulties, Joey Haynes, on Lady of York here. That saddle seems to have shifted quite markedly up Lady of York's neck. Meanwhile, in behind them, some scrimmaging as Attractive Effort seemed to just give a little bit of a nudge to Ember's Glow. There was a knock-on effect briefly there. Sargento seemed to have to snatch up. All that happening on the inside running rail is that now Banter Bay leads up. Banter Bay from on the outside, Singing the Blues. Lady of York is still there as they make the turn back in towards the final half-mile of the contest. Lady of York 3rd, being pushed along despite that apparent saddle movement. Attractive Effort 4th place, followed then in 5th by Caracas to the outside. Ember's Glow in 6th place, but well within striking distance. Harry Callahan is next, being driven along. On the wide outside of that one is Gracie Stansfield. Tersal comes next. To the outside, Bird for Life, beginning to pass a few of them, has gone past stablemate Arlecchino's Arc. The leader here is Banter Bay as they kick on for home. Ember's Glow now challenging on the far side, singing the blues there with a chance. Tractive Effort is further back. Then the Stripes of Caracas, still staying on well, both Harry Callahan and Bird for Life, but the leader is Ember's Glow and Owen Walsh clear now. Staying on still, Harry Callahan and Bird for Life. Bird for Life going second late in the day. Ember's Glow, though, is out in front and wins well. Ember's Glow, Bird for Life, and Harry Callahan, the 1, 2, 3. Caracas was 4th, and then came Banter Bay.
Ember's Glow has got the win. Owen Walsh and Daniel Loughnane. 2 wins in the last 3 starts. Fancied certainly towards the top of the betting. Hasn't been sent off a favourite, but at 3-1 has rewarded punters and actually never really in any sort of problems, I think. He travelled really well, and just once Ember's Glow got to Banter Bay, who was desperately trying but was going in slow motion.
Yeah, it was a ugly race in the sense that nobody really wanted to go anything. Horses started taking off heels, bouncing off the rail. It didn't help that Joey Haynes' saddle on Lady of York looked like it had slipped up her neck, very much as John Hunt was saying in commentary. He was trying so quickly to like spot everything that was happening because there was a bit of like a traffic problems, that it was a messy race. And this time Ember's Glow, unlike last time, had a traffic trouble run through, and it's good to see that Bird for Life went from going nowhere to rallying up to be second, whereas Mark Usher's other runner was behind her.
I'll see you, Mark Usher runner. I'll raise you one in the match bet, and it means that George Baker is making the tee.
Yeah, I'm off to make the tee.
Also returned a nice 8-1 each way squeak, because she's a horse that is just so much better at Kempton than she is anywhere else, and you can see her. She is absolutely stone bonking last at this point, as Sargento is basically in the Simon Dow silks. The White Blaze is about 4th from the back. He's one that's had all sorts of trouble. I mean, he never settled, so he kind of caused a lot of the trouble himself, but he bounced all over everything, all over the rails, as Lady of York takes up the running. Then again, don't know how much of that is because the saddle slipped at around this point versus an actual planned endeavour to go forward.
Yeah, the saddle's just moved forward here, as we can see. The winner's there, just a couple back on the inside under Owen Walsh, nice and relaxed. Really, really good trip round, saved ground the whole way. In what was a messy race, they didn't go hard early on, but they seemed to get racing from a long way out. As you can see, Banter Bay going on down the back straight now, and it won't be long before Luke Morris gets Singing the Blues rolling along, aware of that move. And it was just a very, very messy racing behind, but pace-wise, it was a bit stop-start, and I think they got racing soon enough, and it played into Owen Walsh's hands, who's sort of minding it, sneaking his way around there on the inside, out of trouble.
He went lovely for him, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he just had the perfect trip, and in this standard of race, you need everything to unfold perfectly, and it has done for Owen Walsh. It was a very good ride, and
Harry Callahan is stuck to the task at the top of the turn. You'll see he's been given plenty of encouragement there from Callum Shepherd.
yeah, I think my understanding of Harry Callahan just would want a more truly run race. He sort of hit a flat spot when the race hotted up halfway around the home bend, and he stuck to it fairly well, but he just would want a more truly run race, really.
Yeah, so the same thing happened last time out, that the winner gets first run, the winner here gets first run. He stays on well to pick up the pieces for third, and down the outside, Ella Mackenzie goes from being like 3 lengths detached on Bird for Life, and she just sweeps down the outside. But I think in this instance, Ember's Glow and Owen Walsh, they got a little bit lucky, because even though the cutaway came and they went to it, everybody sort of went outward and just left this big old gaping fresh bit of track for him to just go through. And it's good to see him back up his win 2 starts ago and back up his slight trouble in the run last time out.
He's been great for the team. 20 starts, 2 wins, several placed efforts, and he's just really, things have clicked for him recently, haven't they? And he's travelled well, and I think George made a great point that, he's just had everything right. Perfect trip, lovely throughout for him, and Bird for Life for Rachel has been in the mix for second, and Harry Callahan back in third. That was the 7:45, race 7 at 3.